Molweni, welcome to Space Lunar Academy. Mr. Kolosalo Tetayo. And namhlanje we are starting video number one, which is episode number one of the photoelectric effect. Senza photoelectric effect, and this is grade 12 physics. Make sure bawenza grade 12, and this is a physics. It kept syllabus. Keep that in mind. Okay, so kule topic sithetha nge-photoelectric effect. So I believe every time you're starting a new topic, you have to understand the topic itself by ukuthini before you can even get deep into the learning. So because the topic carries a lot of the meaning of the topic. Umzekelo, uba sithetha nge-electrodynamics, funeka uyazi uba what does that mean? Ithetha ukuthini into electrodynamics? It means we are studying the electrical behavior of motion. So if we are doing photoelectric effect, it means we are studying the electrical behavior of light, because photo means light. So we're studying the electrical behavior of light. Ngamanye amazwi, how do we make electricity using light? Okay, so in exams, they will say define the term photoelectric effect. So you have to know that the definition of photoelectric effect is a phenomenon whereby light of a certain frequency strikes a metal surface and then electrons become ejected. Ngamanye amazwi, it is that process whereby light ethile and a frequency ethile ibetheka ku-metal surface and then kusuka electrons kulo metal surface. So let me explain this thing using a diagram, because I believe we are visual beings or pictorial beings. Like, we learn much better using pictures instead of sound. We learn so much better using vision or any pictures. So let me try to explain this thing using a diagram so that it makes sense. Let us say you have a metal surface. This is your metal surface. We say osmos, but metals have electrons, the delocalized electrons. It means they have freely moving electrons. That's the property of metals. Metals tend to have freely moving electrons. So now let us say you have a light source, maybe the sun. Let's use the sun as the light source. Light from the sun, we know light rays travel in straight lines. We know light travels in straight lines. Okay, now, when this light, let's say when UV rays, or let's say the type of light that is found in the type of rays from the sun, let's say it's UV rays. Xa ngabana UV rays strike the metal surface, these electrons will become ejected. Ngamanye amazwi, they will become removed from the surface. So, and then we call this whole process photoelectric effect. Okay, so what is photoelectric effect? In simple terms, we can say it is a process whereby light of a certain frequency strikes a metal surface and then electrons become removed from the metal surface. So that is a simpler version of defining the process of photoelectric effect. It's just a process whereby light strikes a metal surface and then these electrons from the metal surface jump off the metal surface. They move away from the metal surface. Keep that in mind. Not all frequencies will remove an electron from a metal surface. In other words, it means it must be light with a certain frequency. So it means this light must be a certain frequency, must have a certain frequency. It means a red light will not be able to remove electrons in most metal surfaces, because red light tends to have the lowest frequency that is possible in the spectrum. You can say that. So red light tends to have the lower frequencies, and blue light tends to have higher frequencies. So it means blue light is likely to remove uh, an electron from the metal surface, because there are higher frequencies in blue light. But red light has lower frequencies, lower F. Hope that makes sense. So it means the higher the frequency, the higher we can say the much the chances of an electron being removed from a metal surface. So it means frequencies, or we can say light with higher frequencies, are likely to remove an electron from a metal surface. But lights with lower frequencies are less likely to be able to remove an electron from a metal surface. Keep that in mind, it is very important. Okay, so that is, I believe that is enough for now. But let me just explain. Maybe you want to understand. Okay, Mr. Colossa, why? Question is why? Why do the electrons move away from the metal surface when certain light with a certain frequency strikes the metal surface? Why do the electrons move away? Well, Einstein discovered that light behaves like a wave and also behaves like a particle. In other words, it has a dual nature. We say light has a dual nature. In other words, the light behaves like a particle and also behaves like a wave. So we say light has a dual nature in that way. Dual means two ways. It behaves in two ways, like a particle and also a wave. So here's the thing: these particles that are found in light and also all other electromagnetic radiations, we call these particles photons. So photons are the particles. It's basically the particle nature of light. So I'm saying light has a dual nature, meaning that it behaves like a particle and also a wave. So that means, and we call these particles photons. They are called photons. And photons have energy in them. There's energy. And this energy can be calculated by multiplying the Planck's constant and the frequency of that light wave. In other words, we would have to multiply by the frequency of the UV ray. Keep that in mind. Okay. So I'm saying that the reason why electrons move away from the metal surface when the light of certain frequency strikes the metal surface, it is simply because photons will transfer their energy, meaning these particles, the particle nature of light, will transfer their energy, meaning this energy, from it. The energy is transferred from the photons to the metal surface, and then the metal surface, the electrons of the metal surface start to be excited. To be excited, it means to vibrate at a higher frequency, meaning to move, to vibrate or move at a greater speed. So we say that an electron um, is excited. So that causes an electron to move away from the metal surface, and then we call all of this thing photoelectric effect. Now you understand why photoelectric effect occurs. It is because xa ngabana le light is striking metal surface, then electrons are ejected. Why are they ejected? Because light has particle nature. It means there are particles found in light, and these particles are known as photons. And a photon is basically a quantum of light that carries energy. Yeah? It's basically the smallest particle that light is made up of. So we can say it's a packet of a packet of energy found in light. So a photon, we can define it as a packet of energy found in light. So it's basically these particles that carry energy. We can say that in simple terms. So they will transfer this energy to the metal surface, and then the electrons of the metal surface will start to vibrate and move away from the metal surface. Now, if if not every frequency or not every light will be able to remove an electron, then what light is needed to remove an electron from a metal surface? It's a light that has a frequency that is greater than the threshold frequency. Eh? I will talk about the threshold frequency by deducting in the next videos the meaning, and we'll define. So basically, a threshold frequency is just a minimum amount of frequency needed to remove an electron from a metal surface. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And yeah, just to avoid about the board and we end up losing the information esendikunikeze yona, it's best that we cut this episode. I believe it's enough. You understand what photoelectric effect is, the process whereby light strikes a metal surface and then electrons become ejected. But the light must be a certain frequency, must be of a certain frequency. It means not every other frequency will remove an electron from metal surface. Now, the question that you may be asking yourself, why does this light remove electrons from a metal surface? How is it possible? It is possible because light behaves like a wave and also a particle and a wave. So it means that in light, there are these particles that we call photons, and photons carry energy. They will transfer their energy to the metal surface such that electrons jump away from the metal surface because now they have enough energy to move. We know that energy is the ability to do work. So it means now electrons will be able to move because they have energy. Where do they get the energy? They get the energy from the photons. Okay, hope that makes sense. And this is enough for this episode. And in the next episode, I'll be continuing in the sensor a photoelectric effect, of course, and I will be explaining what is meant by threshold frequency, what is work function, and yeah, that is it. And I hope you enjoy the content. If you do, click the like button, leave a comment. Utsho man uba enkosi, say thank you. You can also say something oqonda uba ndinga-improva kuyo apha kwezi videos. I would really appreciate that. See you in the next video.